Engine 12, confirm your status at the warehouse fire. Copy. Civilians reported on the second floor. Proceed with primary search.
The harsh buzz of fluorescent lights overhead mixed with the steady hum of computer fans as Mia Torres settled into her seat at the 911 dispatch center. The room was lined with rows of consoles, each glowing with screens streaming calls, maps, and emergency data. The scent of stale coffee and paper filled the air. It was just past 7:45 in the evening, a time when many people were just settling in at home, unaware that across the city, lives could be hanging by the thinnest of threads. Mia's fingers trembled slightly as she adjusted her headset. This was it. Her very first solo shift as a fully certified dispatcher. No more shadowing veterans or controlled simulations. This was the real thing, where every second mattered and every decision could mean the difference between life and death. She glanced at the clock on the wall, willing herself to breathe slow and steady. Years of training had prepared her, but nothing could have fully readied her for the unrelenting pressure of a live emergency center. The phone rang sharply, piercing the quiet. 911, what's your emergency? Mia asked, her voice clear but calm, threading professionalism through the faint tremor of nerves. A voice burst out in frantic panic. Help! Someone's breaking in. Please, hurry. Mia's pulse jumped. Where are you? Are you safe? She asked quickly, typing furiously to bring up caller information. I'm in my apartment, 10th floor, Lincoln Towers. Please, he's trying to get in. Her screen flashed the address, the location pinned on the map immediately. Unit 1, urgent response. Possible break-in at Lincoln Towers, apartment 1005. Radio chatter crackled to life. Unit 1 responding, ETA 3 minutes. Mia kept her focus razor sharp. Can you find a safe place inside? A closet or a bathroom? Yes. Closet. Please don't let him find me. The caller's voice was tight with terror. The seconds felt like lifetimes as Mia kept the caller calm, coaxing her to breathe and stay quiet. Outside, police sirens blared closer, their approach urgent and unyielding. But before she could exhale, a new alert appeared on her screen. Flames had been reported at a warehouse less than 2 miles away. Fire at 600 East Morrison, possible trapped workers. Send fire and EMS immediately. Mia's stomach clenched. 2 major emergencies. Her hands flew across the keyboard, juggling priorities, dispatching units, coordinating efforts. Her voice remained steady, a lifeline amid the chaos. Fire units respond to 600 East Morrison immediately. EMS standby for victim extraction. The night spiraled from there. A near-constant stream of calls poured in, some routine, others devastating. A man collapsed in a busy street. A domestic dispute spiraled into violence. A vehicle crash with multiple injuries. Each call a thread tugging at Mia's focus. Her training kicked in. She triaged calls, kept officers informed, and did her best to be the calm voice amid the terror. One call tore at her heart, a frightened young boy lost in the city park, clutching his phone. Can you tell me where you are? Mia asked gently. The boy sniffled. I'm near the big oak tree, but I don't know how to get home. Mia guided him patiently, giving clear directions, all while coordinating with search units dispatched to the park. Minutes later, her screen lit with a message, child found. Safe. Reunited with family. Tears stunned Mia's eyes, but she blinked them away and moved on. Hours crawled forward. Exhaustion pressed hard against her. Her back ached, her throat was raw from speaking, but she refused to break focus. Throughout the night, she juggled multiple crises. A gas leak in a residential building forced evacuations. A senior citizen suffering a stroke required immediate ambulance dispatch. An apartment fire escalated rapidly, demanding urgent coordination. Each call was a race against time. Her colleagues whispered about taking breaks, grabbing quick coffees, but Mia barely noticed. Her world had narrowed to voices, frightened, desperate, urgent, and her responses. Some calls almost broke her. An elderly woman crying, trapped after a fall, calling for help. A mother screaming for her lost child in the pouring rain. The raw, human pain cutting through the cold efficiency of the center. By 3 a.m, fatigue clung to her like a shroud. But with every call saved, every life touched, a spark of purpose flared. Her hands trembled as she answered another ring. 911, what's your emergency? She asked, voice weary but unwavering. The caller's voice was faint, shaking. I think my husband is choking. Mia sprang into action, calmly walking the caller through the Heimlich maneuver, her voice clear, authoritative. Minutes later, the husband was breathing again, thanks to Mia's guidance. She sank back, breath catching in her throat. When dawn finally broke, painting the sky in muted oranges and pinks, the dispatch center slowly began to quiet. Mia leaned back, muscles aching, eyes heavy but bright. Her first night had been a gauntlet, filled with terror, triumph, heartbreak, and hope. She had come in as a rookie. She was leaving as a lifeline. The dawnlight seeped hesitantly through the narrow windows of the dispatch center, brushing the tired faces of operators who had barely left their seats all night. For Mia Torres, it felt less like the start of a new day and more like the fragile pause between storms. Her muscles ached, and her voice was hoarse, but her eyes remained sharp and focused, refusing to let the exhaustion cloud her resolve. The night had been a relentless barrage, a test far fiercer than any simulation. Emergencies had come in waves, each one demanding her fullest attention and fastest decisions. Yet, despite the chaos, Mia had held on, her calm voice a lifeline to frightened callers, a steady guide to the first responders rushing into danger. Her screen lit up again, the flashing text signaling a new call. She adjusted her headset with a quiet breath and answered, 911, what's your emergency? A shaky, desperate voice came through, a woman crying, barely able to speak. My baby, he's not breathing. Mia's heart clenched. She instantly shifted into full emergency mode. Ma'am, I'm here with you. Can you tell me where you are? The woman gasped for breath, struggling to remain calm. 317 West Elm Street, Apartment 2. Please hurry. Mia's fingers danced across the keyboard, alerting EMS and police units closest to the location. EMS, respond immediately to 317 West Elm. Infant not breathing. Priority 1. She stayed on the line, her voice soft but firm. Can you lay the baby on a flat surface? I'm going to guide you through CPR instructions. Minutes felt endless as Mia guided the frantic mother through the steps, her voice the tether keeping hope alive. Then, a miraculous gasp, a tiny cry. Oh my God, he's breathing, the mother sobbed. Mia allowed herself a small smile, a fleeting victory amid the night's shadows. But there was no time to rest. Another alert popped up, reports of a multi-vehicle accident on the interstate, several injured and trapped. Units Bravo and Charlie respond to I-95 northbound, mile marker 24. Multiple vehicle collision. Extraction and medical needed. Her heart pounded as she juggled radios, patched calls, and managed the unfolding scenes with precision born of determination. As emergency vehicles roared across the city, Mia kept one ear on the radios, one on the incoming calls, and one on her instinct. Hours blurred, punctuated by adrenaline and heartbreak. She listened to the elderly man trapped after a fall, his voice steady despite the pain. She calmed a hysterical teenager lost on a subway platform. She held a woman's hand over the line as she gave birth alone, coaxing her through every contraction until paramedics arrived. The weight of each life was profound. Around 3 a.m, a sudden call changed everything. Help! There's a fire in my building. Smoke everywhere. People trapped. Mia's pulse skyrocketed. She grabbed the address, 512 North Pine Avenue, a crowded apartment complex known for its aging wiring. Fire and EMS, immediate response to 512 North Pine. Reports of trapped residents. Evacuate and prioritize search. Her voice rang out with urgency, but she maintained her calm, guiding terrified callers to safety, coordinating with fire chiefs, and directing ambulance staging areas. Smoke reports increased rapidly. Panic was mounting in voices over the phone. Is everyone out? Stay low and cover your mouth, Mia urged, repeating instructions from fire safety training. The dispatcher's world condensed into precise commands and soothing words until the fire units radioed back. Dispatch, we've got multiple casualties. 2 residents unaccounted for on the 3rd floor. Mia's throat tightened. She called the last person on the line, a woman with a soft, trembling voice. Are you on the 3rd floor? Can you find a safe spot? Yes. I'm in my bathroom. Doors closed. I can barely breathe. Mia's voice softened. Hold on. Firefighters are coming. Breathe slow and steady. Minutes passed in agonizing silence. Then crackling radios. Victim located. Female, conscious but smoke inhalation. Extracting now. Tears burned Mia's eyes, exhaustion hitting her in waves, but she pushed forward. The morning sun began to chase the shadows away, revealing a city still scarred but surviving. Angela, her training officer, approached, voice gentle but firm. You handled tonight like a veteran. You were the voice those people needed in their darkest moments. Mia smiled weakly, the weight of the night pressing down but also lifting, a proof of purpose. She knew tomorrow would bring new calls, new crises, new lives to hold in balance. But for now, she was no longer just a rookie. She was a dispatcher. A guardian of voices. A lifeline in the chaos.